The application has a number of routines to help the user when migrating to this application from another, which we'll call the legacy application. Import of customer, supplier and stock records are the subject of other tutorials. In this tutorial we'll be looking at the setting up of opening balances, that is, the financial account balances from the legacy system. We would recommend that a cut-off date is agreed so that transactions up to and including that cut-off date will be entered into the legacy system, and transactions relating to the period after the cut-off date are entered directly into this application. The final balances from the legacy system can then be put into this application as opening balances in the Opening Balances screen. We would recommend also that the user should be working from a trial balance report from the legacy system as at the cut-off date. In its simplest form, the user can enter the account balances directly from the trial balance on an account-by-account basis into this application. And so on. As an alternative to entering an overall value from the trial balance for a customer value, the user may elect to enter a customer-by-customer balance from the aged debtor report that is dated the same as the trial balance, i.e. the cut-off date, the total of which agrees with the total on the trial balance report. Similarly, when entering a supplier value, the user may elect to enter a supplier-by-supplier balance from an aged creditor report that is dated the same as the trial balance or cut-off date, the total of which agrees with the total on the trial balance report. Indeed, the user might, instead of entering the customer or supplier balance, enter each individual outstanding invoice or credit balance, as these will be posted separately to the customer or supplier accounts, and will then be available to mark off as paid when the customer receipts are received and processed, or when supplier payments are received and processed. Similarly, when entering bank balances, we recommend that the user enter the last reconciled statement balance and any unreconciled receipts and payments that have not yet appeared on the bank statement, because again these can be individually reconciled during the bank reconciliation process. The input can be halted and saved at any time by pressing the Submit button. The net value of the input is written to a suspense account, which is the opening balance suspense account. This value should net out to 0 once the input is completed. The application includes two special routines for the creation of asset opening balances for finance agreements, where the correct depreciation and repayments respectively need to be recalculated. If we look first at asset creation, we'll create an asset account where we enter the basic description of the asset, for example a company van, and the remaining economic life in months. That is to say, we would expect this asset to be in service for the next 2 years in this example. We can now enter the asset value in terms of its cost, depreciation to date, that is the cut-off date, and any grant that we were in receipt of when we purchased the asset. Again, once the record is complete, we click Submit, and we see that the appropriate values have been added to our opening balance listing. Similarly, with a new finance account, in this example we are creating the finance account relating to the company van asset that we just set up. Enter the bank account from which the repayments are taken, the asset being financed, the agreement date and reference, the residual balance of the finance left to pay, the residual balance of any interest and charges left to pay, and the residual term of those repayments in months, and the date of the next repayment. When that is complete, we click the Save button. As with the setup of a new finance agreement, we are presented with a confirmation screen which, in this case, asks us to confirm that the repayment amount and the residual number of repayments are both correct for this particular finance agreement, and if all is correct, we click the Commit button and then OK.